Hey there, it's Kate, and it is a Monday afternoon, and already so much has gone on in my household. If you don't know who I am, my name is Kate Penwarn Thompson, and I'm a life coach, emotional freedom coach, money coach, essential oils coach. Yeah, I coach. I think you've got that by now. I'm also a mum of 12, and I have fostered a lot of children, and of course, I've raised a very large family that differ in age from between 49 and 19. So, and no, I did not birth them all myself. Some were born of my womb, some born of my heart, and some came for an interim where I could actually be part of their journey in life. So, what I want to talk to you today. Oh, and by the way, I have this great group that you should maybe go and look at or join called Sane Healthy Mamas. Why do I say sane healthy mamas? Because sometimes as a mama, we can feel just the opposite, unhealthy and insane. And the truth is to get through all of the parenting times. And I know some of you that are watching this may just have little ones, and other ones of you are in those teenage years, and some of you are in that transition period that I call when are they ever going to leave? So, and in all those stages, there are times that we find ourselves in places where we actually don't like how we're parenting. Well, let's address first, where do our parenting styles come from? Our parenting behaviors or patterns or styles actually come from what we've learned. So if you've been brought up in a household where these are very strict regimes or very floppy regimes, or where there's no regime at all, no routine at all, where things are laid back or things are really tight, you're going to come out of there, even if you don't want to parent the same way, you're going to come out of there with some of these behaviors and some of these patterns of parenting. Now, the reason that we do that is because none of us actually know how to parent until we become a parent, correct? Yes. You don't know what it is. In fact, Mother's Day was yesterday. And some of my grown up children are beginning to realize that, guess what? You actually don't know what a mother goes through until you become a mother yourself. And whether you're a mum of one or a mum of 12 or a mum of 8 or 6 or 4 or 2, you're still a mother, and there's still a pattern of parenting that you're going to want to have, and that you're going to go, I actually like this. I actually like the way I'm parenting. I'm going to be straight up and totally honest about this. I have not always liked the way I parented my kids. In fact, I learned some good things from how I was parented, and I learned some not so good things. How to sort those out and how to find your balance in today's world, of course, is a whole different thing. When we are trying to find our parenting boundaries or our parenting balances, we need to look at how we want our child to react. When our child is acting out or reacting or actively acting out, how do we change that? And how do we change how we react to that? A lot of times we react in the same way as the reaction came to us, and sometimes I know in my in my experience as a kid that wasn't exactly good, nice, or beneficial. To tell you the truth, uh, yeah, did getting out the razor strap and strapping my backside, did that help me? No. Did it teach me anything? No. Did it understand that maybe I was just being inquisitive? I had an inquisitive mind? No. Did it help my hyperactivity? No. In fact, it didn't help anything. So when I became a foster parent, I learned that I couldn't use some of the parenting behaviors or patterns that I grew up with. They were just not allowed. And suddenly I had to come back to well, how am I going to change this if I've got to find some different ways? Now, I was very lucky because I was taught lots of skills and I implemented many skills. And it's not for today's talk, but I will talk to you about something that I learned, which was called the preemptive method. And we will talk about that maybe tomorrow or later this week. But what I did learn was I had to do something because, getting out the hickory stick or the strap was not going to work. And quite frankly, ignoring a baby's tantrums or even a teenager's tantrums is not going to be beneficial either. They're trying to express themselves and they're trying to tell you something. And unless we get in a place of not condoning, not, what would you say, upholding, but trying to find out what the tantrum is about. Quite often, it's the same in 2-year-olds, although I found it was more 3. But approaching 2 and going into 3, they are starting to test your boundaries. So they're going to see how far they can push you. Well, when you get to the teenage years, if you thought 3 was bad, I'm telling you, 13, 14, and 15 is a nightmare. And you have to begin to know that today's, what would you say, social media and today's pressures on teens are a lot more than when I was growing up as a teen. There's a lot more run to illegal substance. And, I can tell you, my kids all went to Christian schools. It doesn't matter where the school is. The smaller the school, yes, the less the outbreak. But a child is a child, a teen is a teen, who, if they are going to go towards something like that, this is where we have to be on our mettle. We have to know what's going on with our teen. We have to be preemptive in that degree as well. And I know that well and truly from experience. I know this from different personalities, different teens. Some are never going to go and push your buttons to the extreme that you're going to have to be worried about it, and others are going to push them all the way. But as parents, we actually have to find those new patterns of parenting. Yelling can work sometimes, but lots of times it's if you continue to yell, it just gets tuned out. If you raise your voice to create an atmosphere of stop and listen, yeah, but yelling and screaming and all of that, I can tell you because I tried it, it doesn't work. So there's got to be a better way. And I am in the process of putting these ideas all down, and it will become a book at some point soon. And I am blogging and I am going to be talking about these issues. But if you have trouble with your patterns of parenting and you want to change these patterns of parenting, hey, please contact me. We can have a virtual coffee chat. This is something that I have great insight into. As I said, I have parented more than 12 kids, but I have 12 kids. And I had 2 children that I raised for a certain amount of time that were broken adoptions from Liberia. And both of them were tricky. They were not little ones. They were teenagers that came with bumps and bruises and mistrust and stuff like that. And yeah, you know what? I I still screwed up a little there, but at least I can tell you that they've turned out okay. And you learn as you go along. And if you don't know how to learn as you go along, hey, I'm here to tell you how to do that. Nothing has gone wrong up until this point. And the truth is, when you recognize something has gone down the wrong path, that is the time that you understand maybe my pattern of parenting has to change. Maybe my pattern of parenting isn't working. Maybe this child's personality, I can't parent the same as this child's personality. And I can tell you, I have 12, they're all different personalities and they all react in different ways. Learning their personalities, especially with a very large family, or you have a family with special needs. And that's another thing we'll talk about because it's got to be addressed. we do have kids with special needs. I have an autistic child, I have an autistic grandchild, and their behavior patterns, parenting has to change with their behavior, because you can't let it run away from you, and you can't parent it in the same way as you parent a bright, what would you say? Not that autistic children are bright. In fact, both my grandchild and my child are highly, highly, highly intelligent, which is why you cannot parent them exactly the same way as you would parent a child without a special need. So that's another thing for another day. But I can help you if you do not know how these patterns of parenting go on. Then, as I said, go and join my Sane and Healthy Mamas. The reason I say sane and healthy is quite often, and we will address this too, this is going to be a whole series of things that I'm going to talk about. We have to be healthy. If we aren't looking after ourselves and we aren't healthy and we aren't on board, then that leads us to be overwhelmed, sometimes depressed, sometimes anxious, which is leading to us not being aware, present, and mindful. So I also have a special new journal that is out, and it is called 90 Days of Mindfulness. And I will put that link right here underneath this video, and you can go and order it. This journal is very inexpensive and is available on Amazon, but it is 90 Days of Mindfulness, where you have an affirmation every day and a journal where perhaps you can start looking at some of the patterns of your parenting and write them down and see where you can change. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If there's something more, as I said, please contact me. I'm available. I'm Kate Penwan Thompson. I'm all over that internet as Kate Penwan Thompson. And I am available here on YouTube or in my groups or on my Facebook page and my life coach page. So go hit me up. Let's have a virtual coffee and let's talk about it. Okay, let's get this conversation going, because it needs to be got going. Okay, bye for now. You have a great day, by the way.